Criminals use artificial intelligence to target senior citizens and commit fraud. iOS app ChatGPT is really cool, and how cryptography will help us combat deepfakes and misinformation. It has been a long weekend, so we have a lot to cover. This is Monte from Future Tots, and you're watching the AI Report. So, Google's AI-powered search is disgustingly slow, while regular search is almost instant, so the AI search feels like eternity in comparison. And the thing here is, this may not be so easy to fix. We all know that pretty much all technology gets better over time, but the computations needed to generate these AI answers are orders of magnitude larger than what an index search requires. My guess here is that Google will try to test out this new feature and see how users react. It is entirely possible that the majority of users give it a lukewarm response, in which case Google will probably back down from the AI route. If, on the other hand, searchers embrace the new experience, Google will double down and will likely work on ways to make AI search faster. Also, they will probably find ways to make AI search computationally cheaper as well. From what I've gathered so far, AI search is so expensive that Google may actually lose money with it for now. So they'll have no other choice but to optimize for price as well. However, if searchers adopt the AI search experience, Google will likely find a way to make the whole experience worth their while, probably. Currently, it seems like every AI search result is a separate query to Google's AI engines, and in the future I expect them to index the AI searches as well, similarly to what they're doing now, so that they're not done anew every time and they save a bunch of computations. Okay, a bit of more Google news. The Google workspace gets Duet AI. So this is an artificial intelligence update that will add generative AI to Gmail, Google Docs, Sheets, and other apps, pretty much the entire Google Work Suite. You will be able to generate text, summarize text, generate images, rewrite and edit content, visualize ideas, like organize stuff, pretty much all the goodies you get with generative AI so far. I believe Duet AI uses Palm 2, the large language model of Google. This is still in beta, but will be available to users soon. Next, a nice article from Make Use Of, highlighting some of the advantages that the ChatGPT iOS app has over the browser experience, basically. I've been playing around with the app for a bit, and I do agree with some of these points, especially the first one about the voice input feature. I believe this will be a true game changer for some things like blogging, and I will do a very detailed tutorial on how you might take your blogging to the next level using these tools soon. By the way, let me know if you would like to see that guide in the comments, and in which case I'll give it a priority and provide it for you quicker. Moving on, criminals are using AI to target senior citizens to defraud them. And in a way, this isn't exactly news. This has been going on for quite a while. And of course, everybody expected this was just a matter of time. Like, when are gonna criminals up their game, and when is gonna law enforcement gonna have to catch up, and when are we gonna start working on like these defensive technologies? Pretty much for now, voice cloning services have gotten like really good, and now this type of crime is on the rise, as we can see in this article by Denver 7. So criminals just take an audio sample of a person, something they can find online, then use that to clone their voice, and then they call the elderly relatives of the person and use the fake voice to create the impression that the person is in danger or needs financial help or something along those lines. We know that elderly people are emotional, they're oftentimes feeble, they're not always up to date on the technological advancements, so they can be very vulnerable to these types of frauds. My advice: talk to your grandparents or other elderly loved ones. I did this a few days ago actually, and told my own grandparents that I would only call them from my personal phone number, and I would never ever ask them for money or personal information, especially over the phone. I suggest you do something similar. I like this article from The Guardian about what the AI doomsday might look like. It seems like the idea of how and when will AI destroy humanity is on the top of everyone's minds, and rightfully so. I want to know the sad part here. Very few people doubt that AI will bring tremendously bad consequences. Pretty much almost nobody is like in doubt of that. Most people just try to estimate how bad it's gonna be and when it's gonna happen. It's getting a little bit absurd, even like we're working towards our own demise. Anyway, this article features an opinion from Jessica Newman. She's the director of University of California, Berkeley's Artificial Intelligence Security Initiative. So I'm extremely worried about the path we're on. We're at an especially dangerous time for AI because the systems are at a place where they appear to be impressive, but they're shockingly inaccurate and have inherent vulnerabilities. This is something I entirely agree with. I spend a lot of time researching AI, and while it is impressive, it's still far from perfect. And in many, if not most cases, actually, it's even far from good or actually useful. Yet people continue to hype it up, and ignorance and disinformation spreads further. Well, there's not much we can do besides get educated and informed, which is precisely what we're doing here. So good for us. Other news. Starting Friday, the Artifact news app will rewrite clickbaity news headlines into more objectively sounding ones. Good effort, but the app comes from Instagram co-founders. And Instagram is arguably one of the fakest apps ever. So it's a little bit ironic. Good idea though. Let's see if it gains some footing. Let's move on to another technology that's also near and dear to my heart, and that's cryptocurrencies. So, Coinbase sees artificial intelligence as a transformative force in the crypto sector. David Duong, the head of research at Coinbase, highlighted the growing potential for collaboration and new use cases within the fields of AI and blockchain. Duong points out the combination of generative AI and decentralized marketplaces as one major potential use case. Personally, I believe that cryptography will become even more important than blockchain when it comes to AI. As you may or may not know, cryptocurrencies are basically like the two most important technologies in there are the blockchain and cryptography. Those are pretty much their two essential components. I believe that cryptography will be even more important than blockchain. And of course, cryptography is a field on its own. It doesn't necessarily have to do anything with cryptocurrencies, but I believe we will see some use cases and applications come out of it because, combating deepfakes and scams and misinformation will probably only be possible through the use of cryptographic one-way functions, such as the SHA-256, for example. And I expect new developments in cryptography to emerge, specifically tailored to solving problems caused by AI. Let's end with some heartwarming news. New Beatles song made by AI brings fans to tears. Paul McCartney and John Lennon's solo songs were remastered with artificial intelligence to include the harmonies and vocals of the rest of the Fab Four. I mean, okay, I guess it's kind of beautiful and uplifting and emotional, but the Beatles? Ugh. Okay, a little jab at the Beatles there. Hope you Beatles, like diehards, don't mind it too much. If you do, well, that's the way it is. I will see you tomorrow.